Good evening everyone, DRBMiller here. We are continuing with our live stream of Heavy Rain, and without much ado really, we'll just carry on where we left off earlier today. We've seen the prologue, we've seen how everything develops between Ethan, his wife and his son. And we were introduced to Scott, the private investigator, who is also investigating the origami killer. And the last sequence we watched was with the FBI agent and him attending the press conference and then needing to speak back. So let's just jump in and carry on. Let's see what secrets this game holds for us. Every time you see this close-up, you either won a trophy or you acquired a bonus, which you will be able to watch at the end of the game. You will be getting, this sort of sequence throughout the game quite frequently.
Do you think it's gonna take long?
No, he should be finished soon.
There he is. He's going to be able to play the game. And he's the only person who can see it. It's going to be a nice ball game. The way you play that is by moving your controller towards the floor in a very fast kind of motion. And there we go, his superior comes out. It's going to be a press conference.
I'm off, Charlene. I'll look at the reports later. I'll cancel all appointments for this afternoon.
Okay. Oh, Captain. Agent Norman Jaden from the FBI is here.
Jaden, of course. We've been expecting you. I'm in a bit of a hurry. Do you mind tagging along? We can talk as we walk.
Yeah, of course. I wanted to introduce myself before getting started, but perhaps there's a better time.
No, it's fine. I just have to get to the press conference. We have them every day now. Believe me, it's not always easy finding something to tell them. Fortunately, today we have some news. Have you met Lieutenant Blake yet?
Yeah, we met this morning.
He has his own methods, but he's a good cop. I'm sure you'll get on well together. Do you know how to tie a knot in a necktie?
I guess.
To be frank with you, I could have done without the FBI on this one, but the press are all over us. This origami killer case crept up on us, and it's fast becoming a national concern. There are hundreds of killers in this country, but what do you know? This guy is exotic. He leaves flowers and origami figures. Work that one out. Then the press get onto it, and we suddenly become the center of the universe.
I'm here to arrest a serial killer. With all due respect, sir, the rest of it, it's none of my business.
No, of course not. All I'm asking is that you make progress, and fast. The press want a perpetrator, and we're gonna have to serve him up on a silver platter. Not bad. Oh, go see Charlene. She'll show you to your office. Check in on the press conference if you're interested. It'll give you an idea of the political climate around here.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to the club, Jaden.
Welcome to the club, Jaden. And let's have a look at the press conference. Let's see what's happening in there.
The body of Jeremy Bowles was found this morning on a patch of wasteland in the East End at about 6:30 a.m., 5 days after he was reported missing. An autopsy will be conducted tomorrow to determine the exact cause of death, but going from first indications, it would seem that he drowned. The state in which the body was found suggests the methodology of the origami killer. The investigation should confirm this in the coming days. The police are continuing to work around the clock to find the murderer as quickly as possible. I'll field some questions. Yes.
You said the methodology indicated another victim for the origami killer. Can you be more specific?
An origami figure was found in the victim's hand, and an orchid was placed on his chest. His face was covered with mud, but there were no visible traces of violence to the body. Go ahead.
The Zodiac killer was never identified. Perhaps the origami killer will never be found either.
I don't think there's much chance of that. For the moment, the killer may think he's invulnerable, but in the end he'll make a mistake and we'll be there to arrest him. Yes?
Did the killer leave any written evidence? Perhaps a ransom note explaining his actions? Or anything like that?
No. He has not made contact in any way, and we have only the murders to help us understand his motives. Yes. What's the question?
Some people are saying that the police were slow to take an interest in these murders because the victims lived in poorer parts of the city. What do you say to that?
That's absurd. The police make no distinctions between victims based on their social class. It is true that the origami killer seems to choose his victims from the more impoverished parts of town. The higher crime rate in these areas makes the investigation more difficult. Time for a couple more. Yes.
There are rumors that the FBI has sent a profiler to help with the investigation. Is that true?
You seem to be well informed. Yes, we asked the FBI to send us a profiler to help us with this investigation. We were planning to announce this in the next few days, but it seems that won't be necessary.
According to certain sources, the town hall's been applying pressure to avoid any mention of a serial killer in order not to have an adverse effect on the mayor's election campaign. Do you have anything to say about that?
Pure speculation. At no time has the mayor been involved in this investigation, except to support the efforts of the police force, of course. Thank you for your cooperation.
One question, please, sir. One last question.
Captain Perry, one more question, please.
And that was the last question. It was rather interesting. He had given a lot of detail on the current investigation. Also, he did provide some extra info on the FBI and various other bits and pieces which will be helpful later on. So obviously Jaden is rather anxious about being at this new place, his new HQ, and even more so he's anxious about how the FBI is going to be liaising with the local police force, which is always troubling. So let's have a look at his mindset. Let's have a look at what he's thinking at the moment. Plenty.
Think I need a good cup of Java. Case is front page news in all the papers. It's not going to be easy investigating a crime under the glare of all this publicity.
That's for sure.
I should get Perry's assistant to show me my office. I can't wait to get to work. I'm dying of thirst. Where's the water cooler when you need one? Strange character, Captain Perry. Seems to be more interested in meeting the press than investigating the crime.
Captain Perry is the older guy. And he is really his superior.
I saw Blake when I arrived. Maybe I should go talk to him.
You could tell straight away that those two are not going to be getting on too well.
This investigation is starting to give me the creeps. Get a hold of yourself, man. I'll have a look around the station. Stretch my legs for a bit.
Firstly, he will need a cup of coffee. And this is what he's going to get straight away. The coffee machine is just out here, to our right. A very hot cup of coffee should really refresh him and keep him awake for a while. But look at this. This is definitely not what he expected. Some of those coffee machines at police headquarters are really notoriously bad. As you could see, he was not able to drink coffee which was as hot compared to Ethan, who likes it both, you know, hot and cold, as you've seen early in the game. So after this, he would need to speak to Charlene about his new office, and maybe have a chat with Lieutenant is it Lieutenant? Yeah, Lieutenant Burke.
Nice watch.
Oh, it's the present we offer to our new lieutenants. We bought the same model each year for the past 20 years for each promotion. It optimizes everybody's time, and it's the kind of thing that always goes down well. You can contribute to our fund if you like. We're still a few dollars short.
Well, of course I'll contribute.
Congratulate Larry on my behalf.
I'll be sure to do that, sir.
Captain Perry said you could show me to my office?
Yes, of course. Follow me.
And there it is, his new office.
This is my office?
That's where I was told to take you. If you need anything, you know where to find me.
Absolutely.
Okay, time to work.
You see, this is a real shocker to him. From those glitzy, beautifully polished offices in Quantico, West Virginia, you know, he had to be accepting this sort of dingy little room. But make no mistake, he's got this gadget which will beautifilize everything and make his investigation rather easy. So first of all, let's have a look around. Let's see whether there are any items in here of interest. None really. Well, the best thing you can do is to sit down. Get rid of everything on his desk. Looks like nobody sat in here for quite a few years. He wants to make it his own space for sure. So right now, what we'll do is we'll take the glasses out and then we'll put them on.
Step 1. Change the office.
Watch this. Within seconds, he's in a completely different space. Like a beautiful, sunlit forest. Far away from this city drudgery that he was witnessing. And you'll see he does have plenty of choice in here. So, if he wants to go somewhere else, he can try this. Beneath the sea. Well, utterly conspicuous. Who on earth would want to be there? This looks a bit like the very north of Scotland. Not bad, really. Beautiful air. You would feel rather refreshed if he was to be working there. And wet sometimes, because it's always raining out there. For those who were not in Scotland ever. This is like Nevada desert, or even Mars. So which one do you prefer? That forest, I think, is probably the best. And there we are. Let's make it nice and easy. Also very pleasant. You can hear the birds. And enjoy the sunshine. No humidity. So this moment in time, he can just enjoy all of that a bit, and then he needs to proceed with the investigation. Let's have a look at the files that he brought with him, and all the information he recorded earlier at the crime scene. See, these are the clues.
Oh, wow. Looks like there's something new.
It certainly is. So let's analyze the orchid. Remember, the origami killer keeps leaving orchids with his victims, and he did find some traces of pollen at the crime scene. So this is a very important link. Let's see what else he found out.
A common species. That doesn't help much.
Well, that's rather disappointing. I thought there was going to be something massive. Origami figure. So remember, this is a figure made of paper that Ethan had found several times earlier in the game. And I think he would have seen one of those in the newspaper as well. So let's see what he discovered.
No prints or specific clues. Nothing much to go on.
Again, a bit disappointing, but still, it's an important evidence which he collected at the crime scene.
Harry, comment. Tire tracks on the side of the road behind the railroad line. It may be the killer's car.
May well be. Definitely worth analysing further. The car, and now he's going to be able to look at the tyre tracks.
The killer's car is probably a Chevrolet Malibu 83.
Well, that's essential. He needs to track this vehicle. Okay, we've seen all of this. So let's have a look at geoanalysis. There's his map.
The orchid is a common species. It can be found at any flower shop.
True enough.
Just one origami store in town.
He would need to pay a visit there to find out what they're selling, and also whether they sold any of those to the killer. No data for geoanalysis. Oh well. Equally unimportant. We've seen it all. Carry on. Now we look to the clues, and we've got some ideas on the vehicle, on the orchid. We know that there is one store in town that sells origami figures. And let's have a look at the files and what they might hold. Two very important files he has there: Origami Killer Victims and Origami Killer Modus Operandi. For those who are not familiar with the term, MO is basically the mode of operation that a specific person would be displaying at various crime scenes. So let's have a look at the victims, and also we can have some geographical profiling. We'll be able to see exactly where the victims were found. So let's have a look.
Eight victims in the last 3 years. All boys, aged between 9 and 13. No signs of violence. The victims disappear from public places in broad daylight. No one notices anything. Bodies are found 3 to 5 days later, drowned in rainwater.
After establishing what happened to the victims, he would need to do some geographical profiling, so let's have a look at that. You can see all the victims.
Killer has a large comfort zone. He gained confidence rapidly and moved away from his base. This won't make the geoprofiling any easier.
It doesn't make it easier, but certainly makes it a bit more precise.
There is always a railroad line adjacent to where the bodies are found. And all the victims disappeared in the fall.
So let's have a look at the other file, which is on the killer's modus operandi. That was ridiculous. It was my fault.
Always the same ritual. An origami in the hand, an orchid on the chest. The victims have always been dead for less than 6 hours when they were found, which means they remained alive for several days before being drowned. Over 3,500 people questioned. Over 100 suspects interrogated. Not a single lead to go on.
That makes it particularly difficult, and therefore his abilities and his gadgets will definitely be very, very useful for this investigation. He will discover a few more bits that other people have foreseen and missed as the investigation was progressing. Let's have a look at the geo-analysis of his MI. No data for this. Right. And let's have a look at a bit more of the analysis.
The killer is white, aged between 30 and 45. He is intelligent, calm, and determined. An organized type. He has a car. He's probably employed, but his work allows him free time.
If any of you are familiar with the FBI works, you will then recall that what he just described, basically the classification, is from the crime classification manual, which was written by a group of FBI experts a little while back. And this particular book is used in the same way as the psychiatrists would be using DSM-4, which is the main diagnostic manual for psychiatry applied everywhere, worldwide. So the idea they had was to interview many offenders and then discover certain patterns of behavior, and those patterns of behavior would provide certain types of classification. And this game gives you a good insight, and if you're interested you can obviously look it up on the net and buy the book and have a look at all of that in depth. But he will be following some of those guidelines which are outlined in the crime classification manual, and that will be more visible later on in the game. So let's have a look at geo-analysis. I think we did have a look at that already, and there was nothing. And I think that concludes his investigation of the files. Okay, so we can clear that. Let's see what else he's got. Clues, files, environment. Environment we've done already. Map. Let's have a look at the map again. It's nothing much of interest at the moment. And basically we can close ARI. ARI is the gadget that he's using for this. So now he's back to his office and the way it actually looks. But look at this. This FBI agent is having a serious problem.
Here we go again. I better go wash my face. I need to take some. I'm gonna faint if I resist.
What does he need to take?
This'll make it.
Tripto. After taking it, he's back to normal. It really makes you wonder how he got addicted to Tripto, and as to why he really needs it. Well, let's be patient and let's find out. This is our friend Ethan. Reporting his son is missing.
This is Lieutenant Blake, Mr. Marshall. Could you please tell him what happened?
It was this afternoon. I went to the park with my son, Sean. We played together for a while, and then he wanted to go on the carousel, so I put him on one of the wooden horses, and when I turned back, Sean had disappeared.
Exactly what time did you arrive at the park? Try to remember exactly, Mr. Mars. Every detail can be important.
It must have been about 5:15, I think. I'm not really sure.
What was your son wearing when he disappeared?
He was wearing a coat. A beige coat. And a pair of pants. Green pants.
How could Sean have disappeared without you even noticing? Weren't you right by the carousel?
I did. I didn't leave. I watched the carousel.
How could Sean possibly have vanished if you were right there watching the carousel?
I don't know. I don't understand.
You say you took your son to the park after school, but you didn't report him missing until 8:15. Why did it take you so long to contact the police?
I searched the whole neighborhood for him. I thought he couldn't have gone far.
All right. That's all the questions I have for now. You're free to go, Mr. Mars. We'll continue to look for Sean overnight. We'll contact you if we have any more questions.
Do you think the origami killer...
Listen, your son's probably just run off and he'll turn up in a couple hours.
But what if it is the origami killer?
Well, then we have about 4 days to find him alive.
Which puts him under tremendous pressure.
Did they find something?
No, nothing yet, but they're gonna keep looking through the night.
Do they think it's the origami killer?
It's still too early to say, but it is a possibility.
What happened, Ethan? How could you lose Sean like that? You should never have taken your eyes off him. I mean, for God's sake, how hard is it to keep your eye on a child in the park? Why did you leave him, Ethan? Why? Wasn't it enough losing Jason? I'm sorry. It's not what I meant to say. I miss him so much.
As you could see, the marriage disintegrated, and this incident is making it even worse. So 4 days, they said. He doesn't have much time. You see, we're getting further instructions on what we need to be doing with our controller, and as the game progresses, some of those controls will become more difficult. Ah well, this is again a wonderfully designed mini supermarket somewhere in downtown Philadelphia. Look at it. It literally epitomizes one section of their society which nobody really wants to see.
Good evening.
Good evening to you, sir. Can I help you, sir?
Well, I hope so. My name's Scott Shelby. I'm a private detective. I'm investigating the case of the origami killer. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
My son is dead, Mr. Shelby. I have nothing more to say.
You may know something that could help save other people's lives.
I was unable to save the life of my own son. I do not see how I could save the lives of other people.
I also lost someone I loved. I know what you're feeling.
Then you will understand that I do not wish to talk about it.
Oh, do you sell inhalers? I'm all out, and at least I won't go away completely empty-handed.
In the back of the store, to the right.
Thanks. Pity he didn't want to talk. Might have known something. Inhalers are down at the far end of the store. Inhalers are down at the far end of the store. Goddamn asthma. Can't breathe when it rains.
Look at the detail. All these items on shelves. Extraordinary. There it is. Use asthma inhaler. Found it easy.
Good evening, sir. Are you looking for something in particular?
Give me what you got in the register. Don't fucking try anything. Open the register, you dumb fuck. Put the money on the counter. Shit, are you deaf or what? Are you gonna open that fucking register or not?
No, sir. You do not have the right to steal that money from me. I have worked very hard to earn it. You cannot have it.
What did you say? You're out of your fucking mind, man. You don't get it, do you? I'm gonna put a fucking bullet right between... Hey, you! Come here! I said come here now! Don't move! Hands up! Put your fucking hands up or I'll shoot!
Look, it's not worth it. Put the gun down and just walk away.
You giving me advice? I'll give you some fucking advice.
Don't panic. Let's just stay calm. Nobody here wants to hurt you. We're all just gonna be cool, and everything will be all right.
Yeah. I'm cool, man. Everything's gonna be all fucking right.
You don't really want to shoot anybody, do you? I'm sure we can find a way out of this mess, right? My name's Scott. What about you? What's your name?
Andrew. My name's Andrew.
Do you have anyone you care for in your life? A girlfriend, maybe? A family?
Yeah. A little girl. I got a little girl. Her name's Jessica.
What would Jessica think if she saw you here? Ask yourself. Now, I want you to put the gun back in your pocket and quietly walk out of the store. My friend and I will forget about what just happened, and you'll have earned a second chance not to fuck up your life. What do you say?
Thousand thank you, sir. I don't know what would have happened if you had not been here.
Well, at least I didn't come by for nothing. Have a nice day.
When my boy, Reza, disappeared, I received a letter with a locker ticket inside. Inside the locker, I found this box. I do not understand what it means, but I think it must be a sort of message from the man who took my son from me.
Can I?
Oh. Origami figures.
Please, take the box if it can be of any use to you at all. It did not help me to save Reza, but maybe it will help you find the other little boy. Mr. Shelby, I was beginning to think that there was no good to be found in this place. I can see now that I was wrong.
You see, there's something of concern about Shelby. We get more instructions on how to use the controls throughout the game. Oh, fantastic. I earned another trophy for being able to negotiate. And the technique used was directly taken from the book I just earlier described, the FBI's crime classification manual. So if interested, just look it up. You get exactly the types of questions that you need to ask when dealing with such situations. So it's really, it's really very good. This is a new character. Her name's Madison. Before we walk her, for her apartment, I just want to say, I mentioned there was something deceptive about Scott, and there were 2 or 3 things in there which kind of perturbed me when I played the game for the first time. He did say that he lost somebody who was very close to him. Maybe he was making it up because he wanted to get into a discussion with the shop owner, but it's definitely worth noticing that he also suffered a loss, and this loss might have been very, very significant to him. Don't forget, he was already visiting the prostitute in that hotel, who also had lost her son, and this man, the shop owner, would have done the same. So, in addition to that, he's trying to help every one of those guys, but he's also looking for the evidence. So, there's something strange about his motives. He's investigating the case, but at the same time, he's pursuing a covert lead that, he has, obviously, in his mind. So definitely worth keeping in mind. And let's have a look at what Madison will do in her flat. We need to see what types of items she's keeping in there. A bit of music. A bit of coffee. Not sure whether she'd be able to drink it now. 3 o'clock in the morning. A massive big warehouse. To be honest with you, I hate those places. They're massive, but they're incredibly cold. For most of the year, really. Let's have a look at some other parts of the flat. Oh, let's have a look at the window. Yep. What is there to eat? She's not hungry. Nope. Maybe some coffee. There we go. Nicely warmed up. Doing a bit of work in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, let's see what happens next. Maybe it might be a good idea to go to bed, because obviously she was sleeping on the sofa. What's interesting in this game is that every single character, the lead character, is filled with some sort of tension and is experiencing fear. And you get that literally throughout the game. So, you know, it's highly suspenseful, and you really feel for some of the characters as you carry on. Right now we know something's going to happen in this flat. We're not sure what and when. She was obviously pacing around, looking through the window, switching those lights on, doing a bit of work, but you know, just the way the game's done, you really get the flavour that something terrible is going to happen. And we don't really want her to lie down and go to sleep, because maybe something terrible will happen, or maybe not. So let's find out. Well, I did exactly what I said I shouldn't. But she's heard some noises in the flat. Looks like somebody's in there. Oh, somebody was in the fridge. What were they doing in there? This does not look very good. I should stick at the phone. Is that a phone? No, that's a remote. Hang on, don't go in there. And also you're not appropriately dressed in case somebody's in there. Oh. Who is in there? The lights are off. Look at that.
There's someone here. There's someone in the apartment. The phone on the desk. I could call for help. The front door. It's the only way out. If I can reach it, I still have a chance.
No, don't go in there. You said there was a fine on the desk. Where's the fine? She couldn't find a fine there. That's just too bad. Is it maybe in there? No. See, can she reach? She get out? She needs to get to the front door. Well. Just a bad dream. Thanks God for that. What a dreadful nightmare. My goodness. You have unlocked a new bonus. Well, that's wonderful, because previously when I played this game I was not able to fight them off so successfully. So it must be to do with that. So that's pretty good. But when you think of all these characters that we've had so far, the lead characters, they're all tortured in many different ways. And that is significant. They all suffered traumas and misfortunes, and all are struggling with their emotions and with the psyche. Ethan is probably the most tortured of them all. Probably. But perhaps there's somebody else even more tortured than him. You never know.
When the parents came home from church, all their children were gone. They searched and called for them, they cried and begged, but it was all to no avail. The children have never been seen again.
When the parents came home from church, all the children were gone. They searched and called for them, they cried and begged, but it was all to no avail. The children have never been seen again. Well, you can tell that the origami killer had written this, and also that he specifically targeted Ethan. The reason for which was most likely to be the car accident in which his other son perished. Oh, look at this. Locker ticket. And there's a number.
I have to get out of here and find out what this ticket is about.
Of course. It's a locker. And it does hold the key to some of these secrets for sure. There must be something in the locker, like baggage or a box or something. Just very quickly have a look through the house if there is something else that we would have missed early on. I think it's very unlikely. This is Teddy in there. His bicycle. Maybe some post as well, because this letter was received a few days beforehand. Hang on. Is he gonna be able to read it? Not really. No choice.
Mr. Mars! A few words! Mr. Mars!
Goddamn reporters. They've been camped outside my house all day.
No joy. He probably will be better off if leaving through the back door. See these doors? There aren't any journalists in there. And he can easily get away just by walking through those gardens. Come on, Ethan. You'll be able to get away without being spotted for sure. Hang on, did something wrong in here. Huh. No worries. Jumping over here is easy. And you can go further down as well. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's sufficient. Because don't forget, he needs to get in the vehicle. There's his vehicle. They'll be all busy watching the main entrance to his house, thinking that he's going to come out there. But he is not. And there he's gone. Well, he wants to find the locker for sure. There he is. He's got a picture. He's got the locker number. Everyone looks suspicious to him.
Gonna have to make it through the crowd. I can't take crowds. Just can't handle it.
Wait a minute.
No time to waste. I need to find out what's in that locker. I'm just not gonna make it. I'm tightening up. I can't go on. The luggage lockers. They're on the other side of the station. I can't make it. Too many people. Too many people.
They're suffering another nightmare. Or not. It is a nightmare. But he needs to get to these luggage lockers. Come on.
Dad, where are you?
Jason!
Dad.
You can't go in there. I thought it was luggage lockers. Mistaken.
Jason!
I'm not mistaken, that's the... Wait a minute, where is he going?
Jason!
He did make it. He did get across. With a lot of difficulty, obviously. The trauma is far too great for him. There we go, luggage lockers. Needs to just walk in, nice and easy.
Line 18, box number 3.
1803. Okay. No, it's the wrong way. Where are you going? Row 18, number 3. So that's further down the aisle. Oops. No, it'll be over here. 17. 15. Wait a minute, where's the number 18? 17. 18. There we go. And it's number 3. And there's another box in there. Let's have a look what's in it. Can't wait to see. Oh, he's checked in. He's no longer living in his own place, he's gone to a hotel. Might appear to be a bit safer.
The box from the locker. What am I going to find inside? A shoebox. What's the connection with Sean's disappearance? I took a room in the first motel I saw.
Rather dingy as well.
Am I the one who put this box in the locker? I don't remember. Gotta open it and find out what's inside.
Absolutely. And do so immediately. Hang on. The box is in there. Probably likely to be similar to the box that Scott would have picked up from that dingy little shop. Let's see. Oh, not really. Look at this. There's a gun, a mobile phone, or is it a dictaphone? Oh no, it's a camera. Origami figures as well. Memory card. And a large gun. So let's try this figure to see whether anything's written on it. Isn't really. Oh, there is. Are you prepared to show courage to save your son? Joy's Garage and Parking Lot, 4988 Roosevelt Avenue, Lexington. So he was right to be opening it. Are you prepared to show courage to save your son? Well, he absolutely is. But where's the garage? Joe's Garage and Parking Lot, 4988 Roosevelt Avenue, Lexington. Okay, we'll have to find that. Memory card. What's on it? Stick it in the dictaphone or the camera. What is this? It's some sort of recording device. No, it's a phone.
Help! Dad!
Sean!
Where are you? I'm so cold. Dad! Dad!
How far are you prepared to go to save someone you love? You remember the tagline from the beginning of the game. And we'll keep seeing it throughout the game, of course. 5 origami figures. Each figure is a trial. Each trial provides letters. The letters reveal an address. Well, you see, that's perturbing. 5 origami figures. Each figure is a trial. Each trial provides letters. The letters reveal an address. It's a bit of a puzzle. But somebody's playing a dirty game on him, for sure. And the person doing this is rather demented. This gun is going to be handy if he wants to use it. Yeah, he'll take it just as a precaution, just in case. It's pretty good. He sort of checked out that origami figure. You remember what I said earlier? Lots of hidden clues. One has to check everything. And then you get really a substantial narrative with lots of different outcomes. You've unlocked a new bonus, so I've done something right in here.
The killer is white, aged between 30 and 45. He doesn't act on impulse, but plans his crimes in a very meticulous fashion. He doesn't have anything personal against the victims. That's why he covers their faces with mud, to make them anonymous.
Why does he kill them if he doesn't have anything against them?
For him, they're more of an image, a symbol. That's probably why he gives them an origami figure and an orchid as gifts to apologize for what he's done to them.
Very interesting. And where does all that get us?
The best way of tracking a predator is to be familiar with his behavior.
That may be true in novels, but there's a child's life at stake here.
Continue, Jaden.
Then I studied the geographical distribution of the murders. Generally, a killer commits his first murder near to where he lives, so he has a safe place to flee to if any complications arise. The more confident he becomes, the further he roams from his base. By analyzing the locations where the victims disappeared, I was able to isolate a zone where the killer might live.
And what size is this, zone?
For the moment, about 10 square miles.
Oh, great. There must be 10,000 people live in that sort of area. You gonna question them one by one?
The more clues we get, the more we can reduce the zone. We can then cross-check it with our list of suspects and identify the killer.
That's true.
One detail attracted my attention. The interval between the time when a victim disappears and the time when the body is found ranges from 3 to 5 days. But the rainfall is always at 6 inches, give or take 10%.
What on earth does that mean?
All the victims were drowned in rainwater. The killer kills only in the fall when there is plenty of rain. It could be that he puts them in some sort of well or tank that is open to the skies and that fills up with rainwater. The more it rains, the less time the victim has to live.
So what's next?
There are 2 suspects whose psychological profile might fit and can be connected to the comfort zone. I'd like to question them.
God damn it. We're wasting our time with this bullshit. The killer's out there somewhere, and we gotta get off our asses and find him.
Blake, I've had just about enough of your shit. You've been chasing this guy for what, 2 years? And what are you caught, huh? Nothing! Abso-fucking-lutely nothing!
Well, you think you can do a better fucking job than me with your psychology degree and your great glasses? Well, let me tell you something, pal. That don't mean zip when it comes to getting out there. You're just a fucking bureaucrat.
I came here to find a killer. And that is exactly what I'm gonna do. With or without your help.
Fucking asshole!
That's enough! You said it took 6 inches of rainfall before the victim died. How much time do we have left?
If the weather forecasts are right, less than 72 hours.
He managed to convince him about one of the suspects, and they are going to his apartment now to find out if the flat will hold any of the clues. So, if you just bear with me a moment, I need to take a short break, and I'll be back in a minute, and then we'll have a look at the flat. So just keep cool, have a cup of tea, and we'll have a look.
No answer. We waste our time coming here.
Maybe we should have a little look inside anyway.
There's nobody home.
There is now.
I'm not sure that's entirely legal.
Call the cops.
Looks like Nathaniel Williams is a pretty religious guy.
He's a God-fearing idiot, waiting for the end of the world. We questioned him a few months back because he was causing a disturbance in the park. He was ranting and raving. Said he heard voices. Had this idea in his sick little head that I was the Antichrist. I'd come to Earth to persecute him. Real twisted.
Candles are still lit. He should be back soon.
Good timing, Nathaniel. Just the man we're looking for.
Angels and ministers of grace defend us.
I'm Agent Norman Jaden, FBI. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
As God is my witness, I haven't done anything. I'm innocent.
Relax. Nobody's accusing you of anything. We just want to talk. Why all the crucifixes? You afraid of something?
The hour is nigh, and the wrath of God shall strike men down. I'm preparing for the end of the world.
Where do you work, Nathaniel? You have a job?
My sole occupation is praying to the all-merciful Lord for the salvation of humanity.
Nathaniel, do you remember where you were last Tuesday at 4:30 p.m.?
Here? I was here. I was praying. All day.
Was there anybody with you?
No. No, I was alone.
What about the voices, Nathaniel? Do you still hear the voices? We know who talks to you, don't we, Nathaniel? Or we both know who talks to you.
Don't speak that name.
What are you doing?
I can't talk about it. You mustn't talk about it.
Maybe Blake knows what he's doing after all.
New prey, doesn't he? He needs more and more.
I guess Blake's trying to break him, but what good is a confession if he does?
No! You mustn't.
Shit! Blake is totally out of his mind. I can't just stand around and do nothing.
Go and find that kid in the park. The voices tormented you all night long. You wanted them to stop.
What's Blake looking for? Why is he pushing him over the edge?
Stop! Stop! That's enough!
So you obeyed.
The guy is terrified of Blake. He really thinks he's the Antichrist or something.
Isn't that right?
No!
That's enough.
Stop!
Leave him alone.
Stop!
You killed them, didn't you, Nathaniel? Are you gonna confess, you bastard?
You are the Antichrist.
Put down the gun,
I shall
Nathaniel.
dispatch you to your father in hell. He is the son of Satan. He was sent to earth to destroy us. For Christ's sake, shoot!
Calm down, Nathaniel. Nobody here wants to hurt you. Put the gun down. Lieutenant Blake is going to leave our planet right now and return to the realm of shadows. Creature of darkness, I do beseech you to return to the realm of shadows and leave our Nathaniel in peace.
Demon, you shall regret confronting the emissary of the Lord. You shall know divine power.
Keep calm. Everything is going to be fine, Nathaniel.
Christ all powerful, defend us in our battle with the forces of evil. Protect us from the cunning and wiles of the demon. May God Almighty manifest the power of his empire, and may divine power cast Satan and all the other spirits that prowl the world in search of souls into the darkest depths of hell.
I'm here to help you, Nathaniel. To get rid of the voices in your head, but you have to trust me. I shot him.
Yep. Looks like you did. Can't say I'll miss him. Come on, let's go.
Just realized my mic was switched off for a moment. So basically, I just wanted to say that I'll take a short break now. And if you want to have a cup of tea or bite to eat or so, now's the moment. And I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Hi everyone, I'm back. I just had a brief snack and hope you had a cup of tea and a bit of rest, because now we are going to be moving towards the last section of our broadcast today. Let's crack on. What is he going to be investigating in here, is the question. If you look at the scene here, you'll be able to see that the car he's driving belongs to the 1940s. So that's very interesting. Let's have a look. There's some newspapers in here. Maybe he can pick them up. Oh no, he can't. That's really not particularly good. I like the bits, you know, when you can really find out everything about every single thing you find in you know, various places. Let's have a look through the window first. There is a baby. And this baby is alone. No answer.
No answer. Baby screaming inside. Not a promising start.
Excuse me. Needs to find another way in. Look at this, my goodness. It's like a terrorist den, isn't it? Gas tanks and all sorts. Oh yeah, there it is. And this door is open, which makes it nice and easy for us to come in. Well, this looks highly suspect. There's a note on the floor.
A letter on the floor. Maybe I should have a look.
Of course.
I don't know why, but I got a bad feeling about this.
Me too.
Jeez. Parents today. Going out and leaving a poor little kid like that. Doesn't seem to be anyone.
Mrs. Bowles? Anybody home?
A letter on the floor. Maybe I should have a look. Oh, Jesus.
It's too hard. I can't stand it anymore. Take care of my baby. Well, we all know what this means, but that's just too terrible. Let's very quickly check out the back room. This is it.
Bowles? Mrs. Bowles, are you there?
Break it down. Not a pretty sight.
Mrs. Bowles! Mrs. Bowles, can you hear me? Wake up! Wake up!
No. Not going in there. Look at the wounds. You need to attend to the wounds first.
I'm gonna call an ambulance.
No, I don't want to go to the hospital. Please.
Okay. You got something around here I can dress this wound with?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, don't move. I'll be right back.
Most likely to be in a bathroom.
Let's see. I need this, and this, and this.
Yes, that will be sufficient. For certain. Come on, hurry. She's bleeding really badly.
I need more. Still bleeding. Stay with me, Susan. Susan, do you hear me? Susan, stay with me. Can you hear me? Stay. Not perfect, but it'll do. There, I done what I can. That should stop the bleeding. Luckily, the wounds aren't too deep. Hey, how are you feeling? You okay?
My baby. My baby needs me.
Right. You stay there. I'll take care of the baby. Okay?
Do you know what to do? With a baby, I mean.
I'm a private eye. There's nothing I can't do.
Her name is Emily.
Gotcha.
There's the baby. And look at this, he hasn't even washed his hands. Come on, quickly. No, it's the other way. Where are you going? A bit of soap would do as well. Didn't use the soap. Oh, it's just about the stupidest thing I've seen.
Hi there, Emily. So, what seems to be the problem, huh? Oh! Going by the smell, I got a pretty good idea.
We know what the problem is. Emily.
Okay. How do you do this again? No, brother, that's not the right way. Okay. Let's start again. There you go, fresh new baby.
Indeed, a fresh new baby.
That should feel better.
All done and
Right,
happy.
Emily? Hey, what's the matter? I thought we solved the problem.
A bit of hot milk will do, I think. Because we've seen that milk there early on. There.
I guess I better warm this thing up.
Certainly. Is it warm? Must be.
Oh, Emily, are you hungry? Huh? You hold on. I'll just tilt this bottle a little bit so you don't choke.
Lovely little baby. Very sleepy now.
Oh, good job, Emily. Hmm? You're feeling good now, right? Now, I'm gonna rock you very gently so you can have a nice little snooze. Okay? All right.
Emily is fast asleep. And I'm certainly feeling a lot better than right at the beginning. Okay, so that's all done. I found the letter. Seen the letter. Doesn't need anything in here, I don't think. Needs to speak to the lady of the house.
Thanks for looking after my baby. I didn't want to leave her. I just couldn't cope anymore. Just not having Jeremy around. He was such a good boy. Can't understand why anyone would want to hurt him.
Do you take care of this baby on your own? Doesn't Jeremy's father live with you anymore?
He disappeared. The day after Jeremy. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he couldn't take it. Ever since I've had to look after Emily all on my own, and I couldn't do it anymore.
I understand. Did your husband say anything before he disappeared? Did he leave a note or something?
No. He left the house without a word, and
Never came back.
there was just the cell phone.
A cell phone?
Yeah, I found a cell phone in his dresser. I'm sure it wasn't his. I'd never seen it before. I tried to turn it on, but it didn't work.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, it's in a drawer in the living room. You can have it if you'd like. I'm sure it's of more use to you than to me.
Do you have any family or anybody to help you?
Yeah. My mother. I didn't want to ask her for anything. We don't really get along. But I guess I'm out of options.
Well, look after yourself. And Emily.
I will. I promise.
Still have a look in the bathroom to see if there's anything in there. Anything semi-hidden, but I don't think there will be. Nothing really. So now he needs to go to that drawer in the living room and then find the mobile phone that I talked about. See here? No? There it is. He's visiting the victim's parents. Every woman he visited had lost a child. You see, this is quite tricky. When you have to do that, moving quickly the whole controller in the indicated direction, during the action sequences, that could be very troubling. Well, takes a bit of time to master it. Well, he will pursue his own investigation, but what we will do now is we will retire for tonight and then we'll crack on with the rest of the story early tomorrow morning. So thank you all for coming. Hope you enjoy the gameplay, and Heavy Rain is one of the best games we've had on console for many years, and many people said that it was one of the most comprehensive adventure games ever made. We'll carry on. We'll pursue the investigation in order to find the origami killer, to establish who he is, and we will play all these different characters in order to find out who the killer is. So thank you so much for coming today. I will wish you all a very good night, and of course I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Have a good night.